Yeah,
Yeah.
Anurag, host now.
Oh, but okay. Now I'm host. Fine. Where's the window? Screen back. Yeah. Okay, so on the very first day, we have discussed about what is DevOps and what is Azure DevOps and what features Azure DevOps has and what it can do. Why do we choose Azure DevOps in place of other DevOps tools and all? So I'll quickly brief our last things which we have discussed, so you can like remind because it's been so many days we have not taken the classes in past. So I'll tell you what we have discussed. So what is Microsoft Azure DevOps? It's a Azure DevOps is basically software as a service from Microsoft. So before that, 1 second.
And Anurag, sorry to disturb you. We have one more person by the name of Mr. Anirudh,
Mm-hmm.
and he's also like continuing the classes.
You have joined already?
Yeah,
Yeah,
by the name, yeah,
I just
iPhone.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Perfect. Fine.
Yeah. Anirudh, you can go, you can continue the class, and you can ask him if you have any doubts in the after completion of this session. Okay.
yeah, sure, guys. Thanks.
Okay. So Anirudh, just brief yourself about like what is your background and what are you working. And
So,
are you from which domain and all, so it will be like helpful for us to continue with the training.
yeah. Hi, guys.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Anirudh, and I'm from Hyderabad, and I'm looking to change my uh, career path to DevOps Azure. So, currently, I'm working as a Salesforce admin, uh, and I'm not much of a developer background, but I would like to. I'm very enthusiastic and trying to learn. This I need help, to understand how to tackle this.
Okay, fine. So, but you have experience in IT, right?
Uh, just Salesforce admin, managing data for one of the biggest company,
Mm-hmm.
but not much of experience in that.
Okay, fine. And why did you choose like this DevOps? If you
So
know
actually,
about.
I
Mhm.
so while researching, right, I found that I wanted to move to cloud, right.
Okay.
I have a cousin who is already there in cloud, and
Mhm.
he suggested that this is the future for. He's actually in virtual machine, and he feels this is a future, and he wanted me to get
Learning.
into this. Yeah,
Makes sense. Okay.
yeah.
Fine. All right. So then I'll quickly again review what we have discussed in the first session, and then it will be helpful for you as well. So Ganesh, I cannot share screen again. Dharni, are you the host?
Just a second. Just a second.
No, Anurag, you are the. Okay.
Okay. So for your information, Anirudh, I'll briefly again go through like what we have discussed. So what is DevOps actually? So if you know about software industry or any application lifecycle, you will be familiar like what is DevOps. So when any new software being developed, any new application which any company is developing, there are few different phases. Okay, for each software development life cycle. So it starts from the requirement, like the business analyst or someone from the company gets the requirements from the end client, end user. That phase we call as a requirement phase. Then it goes through the designing phase. Then it goes to the development, where the development of the application happens in actual. and then testing happens, like how it is going. Then we deploy it onto the server so it can be available for the end users, and then the delivery, the final product delivery will be done to the client. These are the different phases of any of the application which being developed. So DevOps is basically is a practice which DevOps basically is consists all like it is involved in each and every different phases of application lifecycle. So when you talk about any developer or you talk about any tester, they are mostly involved in the developing phase, and tester is mostly involved when the testing is happening. But DevOps is not like it's not basically it's not when only one particular phase of cycle is going on, like whether it's designing or the deployment. DevOps will be in touch in every part of the application development. So DevOps basically is a union of people, process, and products. That means the DevOps person has to be like has to be maintain contact with the developer, testers, business analysts, and deployment engineers, everyone. He has to make a sync so developer knows what tester doing, tester knows what.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So DevOps is basically a continuous journey until and unless any of the product is going on, the DevOps will be going on. So for DevOps, there are a lot of different tools and technologies in market. It's not basically one tool or one technology which defines like I learn this tool and I will be learning a DevOps. So there are many tools, many technologies which hello. My voice is breaking in between.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. 1 minute, 1 minute.
I think there is a network issue from Anurag.
Yeah.
Hello. Hey, I'm
I think
sorry. Yeah, actually the power fluctuation happened and the Wi-Fi got restarted. I'm very sorry about that. So it will.
Yeah, I made a host also.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So what I was explaining is basically that so there are a lot of different tools and technologies which provides the DevOps features. We are not restricted to use any specific application or any specific tool which gives us the DevOps functionality. We can use any of the tool and so Azure DevOps is basically one of those tools which gives us that feature. And what is Azure DevOps? So when we talk, Azure DevOps is basically tool from the Microsoft. Uh, and so earlier, like they used to call this as a VSTS, Visual Studio Team Service. It wasn't Azure DevOps, it was Visual Studio Team Service. It was providing the same features, but as because the DevOps terminology got famous, so Microsoft thought to change their tool name so that more people will get attracted towards they understand like okay, this is DevOps, will go for this. So they renamed the tool as Azure DevOps. Earlier it was the Visual Studio Team Service.
Anurag,
And
we can
mhm.
see only that window screen only.
Okay. Screen, do you see now?
Yep.
Okay. So earlier it was VSTS, and because of the rebranding, Microsoft renamed it Azure DevOps. So now there are two concepts basically. One is called Microsoft Azure, and second thing is the Azure DevOps. So when we talk about Microsoft Azure, it is different, and Azure DevOps is different. What is Microsoft Azure is basically a cloud platform, cloud service which is provided by Microsoft. And Azure DevOps is one of the service from the Microsoft Azure. So before we start Azure DevOps or Microsoft Azure, I'll just show you how it is different. Then you will get better idea what is Azure and what is Azure DevOps. And so there are a lot of cloud providers in market. If you have heard already, might be like Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, same Microsoft Azure. So Microsoft Azure provide us 140 plus services. Those services basically you can create your virtual machines, like you can create your computer in cloud, you use it, and as soon as you're done with your requirement, you can close it. So you don't need to purchase a computer when you need it for some time. You can just go to the cloud system. You can create your computer or your VM. VM is kind of one of the service from the cloud. So along with this VM, there are 140 services which Microsoft Azure provide. Basically, what famous services if you talk about Active Directory, like you can manage your user system, or virtual machine is another database you can have, like you can create your own database in cloud and start using it for your application. You can host your web app somewhere in the cloud itself. You don't need to have a system in it in your house, and like this Kubernetes. So like this, there are 140 service, and Azure DevOps is one of the service out of these 140. But if we compare virtual machine and Azure DevOps, there's a big difference. Virtual machine is like a small service, but Azure DevOps itself is a one of the biggest service which is from the Microsoft Azure. So for this, Microsoft has provided different portal itself. So for all other services, there's a common portal called portal.azure.com, but for Azure DevOps, there's a different portal which we call as a dev.azure.com. So this is the basic difference. Like if the person is new to DevOps or Azure and all this, they are like mostly confused, like what is Azure and what is Azure DevOps. So Azure DevOps is a cloud platform, and Azure DevOps is one of the service which provide DevOps features or functionalities and tools for or teams or companies, so they can start start implementing DevOps practices in their company by using Azure DevOps. So Microsoft charge for this service also. How those charges, licensing, and will be gone, that we will be discussing. but this is how the Azure DevOps and Azure is basically differentiated. So Azure DevOps is basically rebranding of VSTS. Did you see my browser which I just opened it? Did you see the portals?
No, Anurag, only that PPT
Why
only.
this is happening? One second. Right, I can't share the whole screen. What do you see now?
Windows screen.
Not browser.
Yes, Windows screen only, not browser.
Okay. Stop sharing. Share again. Screen one. What do you see now?
Same only, Windows screen only.
Not the browser.
No, I think you have to select browser from the below.
No, no. I want to present whole screen, not any specific application or something. Still the same?
Yes, same.
So Anurag, we will able to see your complete screen, window, I mean, desktop screen. So whatever.
Now?
Browser we can see.
Browser, fine, perfect. Okay. So what I was explaining actually, there are two different portals. One is for Microsoft Azure and other one is for Azure DevOps. So this is for Microsoft Azure, which has like 140 different services, virtual machine, your SQL DB, your Active Directory, your web app. You can create Azure DevOps is also like one of the service in Microsoft Azure. And if you see, you can search in this list, you can find Azure DevOps as one of the service. So Azure DevOps. So it is one of the service out of 140 services. So because Azure DevOps is a big concept, it's not small like other services. So Microsoft has given some different portals, a specific portal itself for this one. Yeah. So that is called Azure DevOps and that is Azure. So so basically this is a rebranding of VSTS, the tool existing for last many years, but now they renamed as Azure DevOps. So Azure DevOps has like multiple tools that Azure DevOps itself has tools which can help teams to implement DevOps practices. It provides tools for build, automation, testing, development, version control, package management, and everything. We will be discussing each and every tool. And if you don't know what is version control, that also I'll explain. And then how do we achieve it through Azure DevOps, that will also be discussing. So it will be same for all the different features which Microsoft Azure DevOps provides us. So with Azure DevOps, we can build, we can test, we can deploy. Either we are deploying on our on-prem server or on the cloud services. This all can be done through Azure DevOps. So what we will be discussing during this whole training, basically, this covers in this module overview. If you see, it has like, it will provide you the basics of Azure DevOps. What are the different things, how it is different than other softwares, other tools in DevOps. So it will provide basics. Then what are the different components in Azure DevOps that we will be discussing. And now we'll be discussing about how to start using Azure DevOps. What is that? Like it for a new user, they don't know what is that. So first encapsulation is called organization. We'll be understanding what is organization. Then how do we create projects? What is basically project? How do we manage the permissions? Who will have access to use that project? What they can do with this project? So we'll be discussing all these things. And later on, like most five things are basically, these are the five different components, five different tools we also call, which provides by Microsoft Azure DevOps. Basically that is Azure DevOps boards, Azure DevOps repo, Azure DevOps pipeline. So these all five things we will be discussing in detail. So if you talk or understand about certification, if you're looking for any certification, there is a one certification for DevOps engineer, Azure DevOps administrator they call, and the number is AZ400. So Ganesh has shared one, course agenda or course details into the WhatsApp group, and that course syllabus what he has shared is basically for certification level, certification perspective. So if we go through according to the certification module, or then understanding will be a little challenging. Certification is basically for them who already know a bit, like what is that and what is this. For them, you can go through according to whatever described in the sessions and what is described in the module. It will be easy to understand. But for new guys like you who doesn't have any like previous experience with this, what is better? Like first understand how this tool works, how we can start using, and what are the different things and all. Then it will be easy for going for a certification. So my motto from this training is basically not to provide to get a certification, rather understand what is the tool and how do we use this. So we can discuss about that, and so we'll be discussing different things in Azure DevOps, but not with respect to the certification. Is that fine, right?
So one question I have is like, will we be able to clear the certification post this course?
Yes. So what happens? So I'll share you different like syllabus and all. And during this training, we will be doing the hands-on experience. Like we have the labs already created, and you will be having access to the labs. You can do all the different things which are required as a DevOps engineer. You will be able to do all these things. And once you are done, you can start understanding the certification course. And once you start reading that, you will be able to relate like what this course is saying and what I have learned. So, and then it will be easy for you to clear the certification. But I'm not the person who will say like guaranteed kind of things like, okay, you will get this. So if you're looking for some guaranteed certification, it won't be a good training for you, because my motto is basically to provide understanding. Guaranteed certification you can get like without learning also. So there are many companies which gives you certification directly, and after that you don't know anything. So, and if you go for interview, it won't be helpful.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, but if you like understand and then go for a certification by your own, I'm sure like you will be an expert in Azure DevOps rather than just go for certification with the help, and after 2 months you don't know anything like what I have done. So there is no use of that certification.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. So what Azure DevOps can do? So these are the 5 different tools which Azure DevOps provide, and this is what Azure DevOps can do from end-to-end things. So Azure boards, Azure pipelines, Azure repos, artifacts, and test plans. So these all 5 we will be learning in the course, and how the licensing and all, I will cover this part during the training. So first, now we will start our basic training today. It was like we have already covered in last session, but for you, Nirud, like I just repeated what we have done, so you get a like overview about this.
Yeah,
So
thanks.
before we start any any activity on Azure DevOps, we should have a Microsoft account. So you already have a Microsoft account? No, I believe so. No.
No.
Okay, so you follow what I'm doing. So you must be having a personal email ID. We will be using that personal email ID for creating a Microsoft account. And for others, if other you have Microsoft account is better. Otherwise, you can also follow. And Dharni already have. So Dharni, you can log into this dev.azure.com.
Yeah, sure.
This is our Azure portal. We will be doing everything in and around doing this. So the Anirudh and Ajay, can you just open this URL in your computer?
Okay.
This is dev.azure.com. I'll ping it in the chat. Done?
Just give me a second.
Yes, yes. Hello.
Yeah, we can proceed.
So you have opened this URL.
Yeah.
Okay. So now just click on Start Free. So it will take you to creating a new account. Or if you can share your screen, it will be better. I can guide you directly.
Actually, I'm connected through my phone and using my laptop.
Okay, okay, okay. So I don't think you will be able to. So leave it for now. Tomorrow maybe I'll help you to create your account. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
For now, yeah. For now you can see what I'm doing, and then you can continue. So Dharani, you are logged in.
Yeah, yeah. I'm.
Okay. So dev.azure.com is the common website from Microsoft, and once we log in to that with our Microsoft account, we will see the things for which we have access. Okay. So now on the left hand side, I see there are two things, which is Anurag Jain Cloud and something like this. So that means these are the organizations on which I have permission with my this Microsoft account. If you have some other account, you will see some different things. And Dharni, if you see, you will see some different organization, right?
Correct. Yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
it is asking for create new project.
No, don't create project. We will be discussing only this one. So you see the organ. So whenever we log in for the first time, it will ask us to create a new organization always, because this is the first step. By this you can start utilizing Azure DevOps features. So once you are done with creating an organization, you can keep any name, but it has to be unique across the world, across the global. So if Anurag Jain Cloud is taken by me, no one else can create by this. If you're going to create with this, you will get an error like this organization name already exists, and you need to create a new organization or some different name you have to give. There are a lot of like different restrictions also, like you cannot have spaces between organization name, you cannot use special characters. So all these things are there, and once you have created an organization, you will see like this. So right hand side, there are projects inside the organization. We will not be discussing what is project. We will be focusing on organization for today, and tomorrow we will be discussing what is project. So organization is basically is a collection of projects. That means if your company is creating any application or any of the software, basically if they're developing any mobile, anything basically. If you take example of, they're developing any software for car, like maintaining car features and all. So there should be 5 different projects or 10 different projects. Basically, one project which is talking about the body, one project is talking about tire, one project is talking about dashboard and seat and blah blah blah. So and all these things basically related to car. So you can have an organization called car, and different projects for different features you can create inside this. So organization is basically collection of the project. And what is that, how do we manage? So if you see, this is my organization. It has already at 4 or 5 different projects. And if you click on this organization settings, you will see what all different settings can be done possible through organization. So first thing is the name of the organization. After creation also, if you want to rename, you can rename. But again, the same uh, rules will apply. Like it has to be unique. It should follow the naming convention and all. And one more thing, if you're renaming it, URL of your organization will be changed. So you have to share it again with your team members. So renaming is not suggested always, but if you have some like requirement, then you can rename it without any much efforts and all. Just simply give the new name and click on save. It will be renamed. Second thing in the overview, if you see, is the organization owner. So owner is basically by default, whosoever is creating the organization will be the organization owner, because I created myself is the owner. And Dharni, you will see you are the owner.
Correct.
Correct. So what is owner? Basically, owner is the person who can do anything in this organization. Anything means he can delete this organization. He can add users to this organization. He can create project inside this organization. He can delete the projects. So whatever the possible options or features, he have access to everything. And there should be a limit of having only one owner. It's not like there are multiple owners. You can change. Today I have created, but I won't be managing this, so I can hand over this to someone else. But it has to be only one individual. Okay. And the third thing in overview is like delete. If you don't want to use this organization, you can delete it easily. You just click on the delete, give your organization name for confirmation, click on delete, it will be deleted. But sometime it might be and I'm seeing this because I'm the owner. I have this permissions to delete. It's not like anybody can come and delete this. You cannot. Only I can delete because I am the owner. So for deletion also, you should be the owner. But what happened, like if you're deleting any organization, that means you're deleting everything inside your organization. That means you have created a lot of projects, you have done a lot of coding, a lot of testing, you have created a lot of pipelines, everything will be deleted. So in some rare scenario or some like by mistake, if someone has deleted the organization, and that organization maybe was in use for many years, and by mistake if you delete, that means your years of data is gone. Then you can understand the situation. So Microsoft has given an option of restoring the deleted organization, and that restoration can be happened in 30 days. And how you can restore? So once it is deleted, and if you try to log in again, it will show you like this organization is deleted. So, if you are the organization admin, you can recover it easily. So how to we restore? I'll show you. So I'll delete this first. So this organization I'm gonna delete. So today I'm deleting. That means it will be available for 30 days. Now it is gone. If I go back and see, I won't see Anurag Cloud anymore, and all the projects inside that will be gone. See, only the other organization which was there, it is seen, but I cannot see Anurag Cloud anymore. Now everything is gone, and So how do we recover? We can recover like so Microsoft has given an option. We have to go to our profile, like my profile, which is Visual Studio profile. There's separate URL for this. If you open this URL and log in with your account, so same account, anuragjain.c, my Gmail ID. I'll see option one, organization pending deletion. That means one organization is deleted, but it is not completed 30 days of deletion, so it is available. Once 30 days done, we won't see this option. So this is the organization, and I'm the owner of this. So I have this option of restore. If I click on restore, I can restore it. So my everything, whatever was there, it will be restored as it is without any data loss. If I refresh my this screen again, I'll see two organizations now. So this is back, and whatever was there, this project and all, everything is back now. So within 30 days, we can restore. So because this is SaaS, like software as a service. So what is, there are three type of cloud services: SaaS, IaaS, and PaaS. So PaaS is basically platform as a service. SaaS is software as a service, and IaaS is infrastructure as a service. So software as a service means we are not doing anything. The cloud provider is giving us a service as a software. So they have given Azure DevOps to us, because the software, they are managing everything. We are not managing anything. Like we are not hosting our software somewhere. We are not making any changes into this. Like whatever they have given, we are utilizing. So if you want to add one more column next to overview, you want to add something like membership or something, you cannot, because this software is owned by Microsoft and they are giving us as a service. So we are utilizing it as a service. That is called SaaS. So in SaaS things, basically the cloud provider will manage data security and everything. So that's why when we delete, the data is secured with Microsoft. So we have not to worry like where is my database, what size and all. It is secured with Microsoft, and because they have given us facility to restore it in 30 days, we were able to restore it. Yeah. So this is under the overview. So we'll be discussing all these things today. What is organization setting? And tomorrow we will discuss what is project and what are the project settings. So these are the basic overviews, which will be useful when we will be working on actual Azure DevOps tools. So these are the conceptual things which are required once we work on actual things. So understanding these also like important. Without this, if we start working directly on different tools, it will be like sometimes confusing, like how it is happening, how the permissions and things are working. So that's why I'm giving this overview before, so you can understand when later things come. So you can manage your all projects from this page. So in my organization, I have 4 different projects. I can manage from here. Manage means I can delete it, I can rename it. That's all can be done from this. Other settings we have to manage by inside going to the project. So that is projects. Users is basically who all our users are added to my organization. So in my organization, there are 4 persons who has access to this: myself, my different account, and some other guy who have I given the permission. So if this guy log into his Microsoft account, he will see this. So same thing I'll do now. I'll add Dharni's account here, and Dharni, if you rename or refresh, you will be having to access. So Dharni, what is your email ID?
Dharani.svec.
Dharni.svec.
SVEC.
SV.
EC. E for
EC.
English, C for yeah, Gmail.
Okay. So this has run. It has checked like whether I have given the correct user ID and all. If it is not correct, it will throw an error. So if we see our notice, it is like Dharni is added. So here we have the notification. We can see. Dharni, if you refresh your screen and see if you see Anurag Jain Cloud there or not.
Okay, let me. I mean, after I refresh, I'll able to see this organization.
You can see, right?
No, no, no. I'm just asking.
You are not able to.
No,
Yes, after refresh, you have to, you should see. No.
no, Anurag.
Can you refresh now?
No, Anurag. You
Can
want
you
me to
share
share
your
my
screen?
screen?
Yeah, yes, please. Yes.
Can you make me host?
Yeah, done.
You're able to see, right?
Yes. So can you just click on this DZ? Yeah. Dharani.svc@gmail.com. Fine. Can you refresh again? One second. One minute. Okay, okay. Do one thing. Just type this URL into dev.azure.com. Remove this Dharni from there and type in Anurag Jain Cloud and see you have access or not. Yeah. Enter. You are not authorized to view. So some permission problem. Just check some. Okay, try one more time, please. Yeah, this is okay. Email ID is correct. Can you add mine into yours?
Yeah.
Go to settings. Users. Add user. Yeah, Anurag Jain. Dot cse@gmail.com. And this add to project, select anything is coming. Add to project, no project. So no projects, fine. Yeah, that is fine. Click on add. see if it is successfully done. Click on view all. And do one more thing. Go to this permissions under security. I'll tell you what is permissions when we are coming there. But for now, into this, yeah, and go inside this. Open members. Go to members and add me again. Add. It's coming. Yeah, it's coming already. So. Okay, I think it takes some time to refresh or something. I'm also not able to see. What is the name? Azure DevOps 9994.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we'll check it at end of the session. It might take some time to refresh or something. So I'll continue again, and this will be checking it. Why we are not able to see? Okay, I'll share my screen again. Can you make me host again?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. So you can see my screen, right? You can see the organization.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so users is basically to manage like how many users are there in my organization. So basically we do not add users directly here because it does not make sense to add until and unless we are not giving them permission or access to any specific thing. Specific thing means we are giving them permission to any of the project, or we are giving them some responsibilities on the organization level that we call as the organization permissions and all. So if we give them permissions there inside the project or inside the organization, then automatically the users will be added here. Either we have options to add here, we can add, but when we add here directly, it does not make any sense. But this list is basically give us idea like how many total number of users are there in my organization. Like if the 10 users are in one project, 15 in different projects, and organization is collection of all different projects. So all the list will be displayed over here. We can see all the users which are in my organization, and I can just simply remove it from here. If I remove it, is all permissions and all from different projects will be gone. So this is basically a common a page from where we can manage our different users and all. Okay. The next thing comes is billing. So what is billing basically? Billing is who will be paying for this for different features. What is hosted CI/CD, self-hosted CI/CD, that we will be discussing when we'll be discussing pipelines and all. But billing is basically we have to set up our credit card details here. So whatever the features we will be using, it has some different certain amount decided by Microsoft. These are the things which can be done in this price. So whatever features teams and users uses, automatically it charges up, and in the end, monthly or daily or whatever the limit we set, it will be deducted from the credit card. So that is, and that can be done by organization owner. So if we click on setup billing, it will ask us for Azure subscription. So we should have a valid Azure subscription, which is like linked to credit card details, and we can link that. So my this account doesn't have any subscription because I'm not paying. So, but billing is basically for paying the feature. So if I'm click on subscription, it is taking me to subscription page where I'll be buying my subscription, and so because my account is free, it is saying like upgrade. And that subscription will be done through Microsoft Azure page, because Azure DevOps is one of the service from Azure. So whatever the service from Azure we will charge, it will be done from that only. So yeah, we go back there. And what is the charges and all for different features that we will be discussing when we will be discussing individual features. Okay. Auditing is basically for audit purpose, like in companies, like we have some analysts, right? They will they can see these logs for auditing, like what all things or actions has been done into this organization, what everyone is doing, and also they can take. So it records each and every action, whatever is happening. So you see, I have added Dharni as a project admin. I added Dharni to the organization, and what all things I have done. This I renamed this organization from this to this. So each and every activity is recorded here and can be used for auditing. So we can export these logs and send to different auditors. They can do auditing like what we are doing. So sometimes it happens when like any organization bill is going too much, like this supposed to have some $5,000 per year, but it reached up to some like higher amount. So to understand, verify what other things are happening, it can be audit from here. Yeah. Okay. So global notification is basically to manage your notification on organization level. And what is this notification? Is whatever, like if we are doing some code changes, we are running any pipeline, we are creating some boards item or whatever the different items we are doing, to whom it should send a notification in an email. So those settings can be managed from here. Like if you are in my project, if any of the developer is making any code changes, I should be notified. So these settings I can do from notification setting. This can be done from organization level, and this can be done from the project level. So for different activities, we can send the notification. So this page is basically for that. And mostly team doesn't use it from here, they use it from the project level. So because all these code changes, pipeline, and all are related to the project, so we manage it from project levels. It's again kind of auditing logs also only, like what user is using what, and from which resource, which browser, which location, and all they're using. These all things are listed under this uses. Extensions is basically what so Azure DevOps inbuilt has its own tools like board and pipeline and test. But if you require any third party things, like if you want to use any external tool or anything that basically increase, like as per your requirement. So Microsoft has given a lot of external extensions which teams can install into their organization on their requirement. And all these extensions can be will be shown here. And what is this extension? So there it's called Marketplace. So it is like application. So you can install. These are not default enabled in all the organization and all the projects. But if you want, you can install. And how does it look like? I'll open Marketplace. And so there are a lot of different small tools which will be integrated into our organization for our use. So many tools are provided by Microsoft, many are developed by some third-party vendor, and many you can also develop your and push it into this marketplace, and you just will start installing. Few are free, few are paid, few have license and all. So if you see this free trial, free, that means this will be the lifetime free, and time tracker, this tool will be like some trial will be free, and then this company will charge us. So how do we install and all is like, if you click on this, you click on get, and what this extension will do, you can read about it here. So if you want to understand, okay, I want to use some tool like this, what is that? Just open it, read its features. Okay, this will do all these things. Do I need this? You can check this requirement features and you can install it into your. So how do we install it? Simply like just click on get, and it will show like whatever the organization access I have. I have two or three. Yeah, I can select in what. So extensions are on our organization level. That means I'll be installing it in the organization, and all the projects in my organization will have this access to this extension. But if I have access to two different organizations, the second organization will not be having this extension installed. I have to install separately for this organization. That means if I'm installing this replace token, it will be available in Anurag Jain Cloud, but it will not be available in Amit Dimri. So that means install. Done. If I refresh my installed extension page, I will see one more extension is available. So this is available here. And how, like, now you will be thinking like, what is this, what it is doing? You want to understand it, but when we will be using original features, I'll show you like how does it make an impact to our things, why are we installing, why are we taking external things into our things. So that we will be considering here. Azure Active Directory. So what is this Azure Active Directory? Basically, right now, if you see, we are logging in through our Gmail ID and all. But when we are working in any of the company, they won't allow us using Gmail and all. So if you are working for, let's say, Oracle, so Oracle will have their own Active Directory where they will manage their users database. So when you are working for any company, they will give you different email ID, they will give you different username and all. So that all things managed inside the Active Directory, right? So that we call Active Directory. So Azure is providing Active Directory. That Active Directory, we call it Azure Active Directory. So companies will use their Active Directory for managing their user base. So if I link my organization to my Active Directory, because we are using our personal account, we do not have any Active Directory. So we are not linking to any Active Directory. But if you're working for any of the company, your organization will be linked to AD, your company's Active Directory. That means your company users will see all the organizations. Now, because we are using different, I don't see any other things. But if you are working for any company, how do you manage everything? So all the organization will be linked to Active Directory, and then using your company's ID, you can log in and start using it. Then in that case, we need this Active Directory. So if you just click on Connect Directory, it will show us what are the directory and all available. So for me, this is some default because it's not Active Directory account, it is Gmail account. So it will be like this.
So here I have a question.
Yes, please.
So is there any other way to use DevOps to, automatically by using code, automatically, sorry. instead of clicking on things and adding users, is there any way to add users to the org?
Yes, yes. So manually, like every company doesn't do like all these things manually. So Azure DevOps has two ways to automate your things. In Azure DevOps, there is a one called Azure DevOps CLI that they call AZ CLI. There's a tool which we install in our local system, and by using that, so it's a command line tool, AZ. So az.exe we will be running, and it will ask us for few parameters like what is your organization URL, which user you want to add. So all these things can be scripted, and using that script, we can basically can create our own utility or any software which we will be connecting. Or other way is to use API. So for doing any action, we can use
Or
API.
something. Yeah.
API to add users to organization. But if I explain all these things now, you will be confused like what is this. So now we understand manually. If some time we get while, so during pipeline we'll be discussing about automation. So I can show you like what is that, how. So if you already experience with API and all, it will be really good. But if you don't know, then it will be like quite tough to understand like what is API. So
okay. I just wanted to know if we are going to use
everything.
Some automation tool.
Yeah, everything can be done through code. It's not like every time you open and manually you do this. Everything can be done through the code, and but it depends what is the requirement. If you have to add 2 users in a day, then Teams doesn't go for automation and all for such thing. If you have requirement like you need to find out all the users in my company and put it into the Excel and all, then if you go manually copying user detail and putting into Excel, it will take time. So what you just do, they use the API and get the data and put it into the script will do this. So if you see this create user API, it will run a API. It will ask us our organization URL and API call, and in body we give user detail, which user we want to add, and then automatically running this into this API, we will see our user is added. So for each action, there is an API. An API call is some like, I'll show you few of the APIs, how do we call and all, and then you will be able to understand what is API, how do we call this, how do we use this for different actions and all that. Maybe I can explain, that's fine.
Okay. So one more question. So with regards, not only with regards to users, like if there is a new organization or a new new organization you want to create, or you want to create a project, so multiple projects in the organization, do we actually have to manually do it, or is there a way for automation in there as well?
No, for everything, whatever is in the organization, everything there is an API. You can automate all the things, not only user. So if you see Azure DevOps services, there are these number of API. So if you see project, search for this, create a project.
Okay, understood. So my only question was, would we learn how to use that? Because I've had an interview where they asked me about API and, how would you, what do you say, bring the environment alive or something like that.
Okay, understood. So you had interview for Microsoft Azure or specifically for Azure DevOps?
Azure DevOps.
Azure DevOps, that's great. Okay. So this like everything can be, so if you see project creation, that is also can be done through this API. So we just need to give our organization URL and then this API call, which is basically something, and we need to send our details. So how do we call API? It's not like you run this URL, it is done. You have to use some different tool. Either you use PowerShell or you use some Postman, which is third-party tool for running, or you have some .NET code where you can integrate this. So for doing automation, you need some automation tool. So I will explain these things in PowerShell. Like we can take example of 3-4 different APIs, and then all rests will work in similar pattern. You just need to replace your API from the document of Microsoft, and all different things will work in the same pattern. So
So
I
we are
also
going.
don't, yeah, I also don't remember what is the API for Project Create. I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
how do I call this. So what I do, I have a script written. I just replace my script with this URL, because for project creation, this is the API. So I just replace it and it will work.
Okay, okay, got it.
Yeah.
So
But we
for
should
which,
know like, Mhm.
yeah, for coding and all, which language at least we should know for automation?
No, for Azure DevOps, if you are looking for Azure DevOps only, then PowerShell is the only thing. Like you, like if coding and all, if .NET, Java development and all, we don't require, because it's again a separate domain. You are a developer. But for DevOps engineer, that too in Azure DevOps. So Azure DevOps, mostly teams who are using .NET applications, because it is Microsoft tool, and .NET is again Microsoft tool. So PowerShell is 99% cases PowerShell is required and enough. If you go for any interview for Azure DevOps, they will ask you for PowerShell.
Okay.
And if you know PowerShell, you can do like 99% things through automation in Azure DevOps.
Okay, got it.
So if you can start learning simultaneously, it will be really helpful for you
Right.
through different tools and all the documentation online portals. It will be helpful.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so today I'll just go for one more topic and then closing. So okay, I'll now yeah, these two things are important. What is policy? What is permission? So, and this all remember again, we are doing for organization level. We can do all these things on project level, but for globally, for managing 100 projects in my organization, I'm making setting at the organization level. So this policies, I'll explain you tomorrow, because again, a long topic. Permissions I'll explain today. So what is permission? So when you're adding a user to the organization, what he can do? Either he can destroy your organization, or he can just read the data, or he can do something but not delete, or so yeah, or for all these things, there are different permission set. If you want the user you are adding, he can create new projects, he can delete existing projects, he can add new users. That means he is the administrator of your organization. So that user you have to add inside project collection administrator. If you add the user here, he will have the permissions to all these things. Like he can do all privilege operation in this collection means organization. So team project collection is basically your organization. So if you, so in this group, you don't add like n number of users, you add only few members who is basically the owner of the system, or who are the DevOps engineers. So in my company, there are 2-3 guys who are in this group and they manage everything. Okay. Project collection build administrator. So build administrator is like build engineers. So who is creating build pipelines, deployment pipelines, and so for that you need to grant them this permission. So how do you add users? You just open this group, go to members, and you add user inside this. So whatsoever user you will add into this group, that user will get permission for all the projects with this build admin. So he can create build pipelines in all the projects. If you add this guy in here, he can do anything for any project in your organization. Like he can delete the project, he can create project, he can change the permission, he can add new users, he can remove whatever the things are possible, he can do. If you add this, you leave service account, you leave, we don't add users here. And valid users is basically the collection of all the users in your system. So it will, if you add any user in your system, those will automatically be listed out here. So all groups are listed out in my this project collection, and if you again open that, you will see the members. So mostly on the project collection level, we add users inside the administrator level who can manage. Rest we will take care on or on project level, because we will be giving permissions mostly on the project specific. not the organization specific. Yeah. Okay. Okay, these all things are like related to the pipeline. So if I explain it now, it will be you will be confused like what is agent, what is pool, what is job. So all these settings are basically when we'll be discussing the pipeline, like which is one of the tool. Same with the boards. So boards is one of the. So there are 5 features which I explained, uh, which we will be discussing in detail. Boards, repo, pipeline, test, artifact. So boards is basically linked with the board. So when I explain the board, then you will understand what is this board setting. So this page is only for setting. So what is the board settings, pipeline settings, same for repo and same for artifact. So these all things are basically specific for different features. So, and these were the common general settings, which we have already discussed. And all these things are basically feature related, which it will be more convenient for you to understand when we will be discussing the tools. So that's all for today. If you have any questions, let me know. Else tomorrow we will be discussing the project and project settings.
So my question I had was, as I'm not from a developer background or CSA background, I'm coming from mechanical and I've started off with Salesforce. So I little bit of understand admin, or what permissions take care of, or what role it plays. So far I am understanding where we are going. Hello?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can
Yes,
you hear
I
me?
can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. So far I can understand, but I'm little skeptical, right? Would I be able to move forward with this? Will it require a developer knowledge or a CSE background guy to understand more, or to be able to
Okay.
perform tasks?
Yeah. So
in
basically,
Azure DevOps?
it's it's a tool. Okay. And tool is what?
Mm-hmm.
Tool is like just required a training. So if you use Facebook also, and if you are not from computer background, slowly you will understand like what is
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, what are the different features, right? How do you go to notification, how you
Okay.
post a photo. So it's like a tool you are using. So same Azure DevOps is also a tool, which is Microsoft has given. And in Facebook also, you click on your profile, you go inside. So it takes us like months to understand if we are new to Facebook. Like how do we
Yeah.
use different features? Same thing with this tool. It's not like we are developing this. We are not writing code to develop the features. We are using only. We are using what Microsoft has given. But how do we use this? That we will be learning. And how do you get expert? More and more and more you will be going through with different portals. You will browse through. You will understand it. For some part, it's not like always. Never you will require coding and all, but sometime. But it's not like if you go to a company first, they'll ask you to do some changes in this setting. That will not be there. But slowly, sometime it happens because we are engineers. They will hire you as an engineer, so they expect you know something in this. But rather than development coding, it will be like little easy for some other person who is not from computer background. But I would not say like
Okay.
100% you will be able to perform if you don't know these things. But like 80% to 70% somehow you will fit in, but 30% you will be having problems for sure. Or either you give efforts, you start learning, like I said, PowerShell. If you start learning from documentation and you don't know, if you don't know any coding experience, it's fine. But if you start learning PowerShell, that is like more enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I actually wanted to understand what the interview questions would be. So they were asking how would you bring the environment alive? What tools, or what would you use, or
So
something like that.
now you don't
So
know
I
what
was,
is environment, right? But if you
yeah.
get this training done, you will know what is environment. Then you can relate with those questions. Then you can tell them
Okay,
the
okay.
story. But now you don't know what is environment, so you cannot tell anything, right?
Yeah.
But if you get this
Okay.
training, you will get like overview, what is environment, and then you can start telling the story. How do you do that?
Okay, got it. So we will understand, right, how we're going to do all of those questions, like, how to deal with real time scenarios.
Correct. No, that is only we will be covering. I'm not going with the certification. If you go with certification, you cannot give any interview question for sure.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
If you do hands-on experience, you will know what is that.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
Okay. Anyhow, like if you don't feel comfortable, it's okay.
Sorry.
So in few days, like you will be able to understand like you're comfortable or not.
Okay. Yeah,
Hmm.
got it.
Okay, fine, people. Then we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, fine. Anand. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Anurag.
Thanks. Yeah. Bye.